Hi there, Kelly Duty here from Social School, and I'm very excited to take you through Audience Manager in Facebook Business Suite and the building of some custom audiences. Facebook calls them custom, we call them hot. They're the hottest, most highly actionable audiences around, and it makes sense that they would align with your hot ad campaigns. Those that have a sense of scarcity or urgency or just high converting messages that get people across the finish line. And that finish line doesn't have to be e-commerce related or some kind of checkout with a product or purchase on your website. Not all of us have that. For you, your goal or your conversion might be that they filled out a form on your site or left their information for you to get in touch, or they subscribed to your e-newsletter or donated or whatever it is. Maybe they just watched your video and hence got to know you better because that's sort of where you're at in your business stage. Great. All of those things matter, and it is really important that we're moving people through our audience funnel from cold to warm to hot to get them where we need them to go and to basically nurture and encourage or educate them along the way as to who we are and what we do. So let's take a quick peek here. We're in Facebook Business Suite, which, as you know from our paid social course and a bunch of our other trainings, is the backbone of Facebook and Instagram. And it's absolutely where we go to manage our inbox, our ads, our posts, our boosted content, our insights. There's just so much here now that we actually don't have a need for a third-party tool. And we can do it all from within our beautiful Business Suite platform. I really encourage you to get to know it. So we're going to head on into the More Tools section and then into Audiences, which I've opened up right here in a second tab. And right away you can see, as you did if you watched our first video, which was about cold audiences, the saved audiences as Facebook calls them. Those are those top of funnel, broad awareness ad or audience sets that are really kind of available to any and everyone in that region or with a broad interest set that we need to target. And our purpose in doing so is to, of course, get them to take action and then target them with a warm or hot ad and characterize them as a warm or hot audience now because they have gotten to know us already. They're no longer cold strangers. So we don't create the warm audiences second. In fact, we go straight into creating the hot audiences, and then we go back and create the warms because they are essentially built as lookalikes of our hots. So Facebook calls them customs. Let's head on in and see what those look like. When we're building a custom or a hot audience, we have to choose what our source is. And if you don't have a website pixel set up, which is the Facebook tracking pixel that you install on your website, it's a little 10-digit code, and it sends information back to Facebook and builds this beautiful, constantly updated or dynamic audience that's constantly referring information or getting information off of your website with IP addresses so that you can retarget those same people with your content and your ads. It's brilliant. It's important too. We shouldn't be not retargeting because every big business in the world is, and small businesses should not be left out of this game. It's a really powerful thing to reach somebody when they've expressed interest in your website and they've been on your checkout page but maybe didn't buy, or they've revisited it a few times, or they were on it last year but haven't been back. All of these things are audiences that, of course, you would pick up the phone and say, hey, can I help you? What can I do for you? What do you need? What kind of objections can I remove? How do you get them there? And really remember, it's not about being salesy or pushy. It's about getting them what they're looking for, serving them and being the solution to their problems. And the quicker you can remove the idea of following them around the internet and being annoying to being the solution to what they're looking for, the more success you'll have, but the faster you'll feel like you're actually reaching them from a place of service versus spam. Okay, so if I have a website pixel in place, I can of course choose that as my source, and then I can head on in and it's going to ask me, and because my pixel is called Social School Pixel, which, as you know, is a naming parameter that we encourage you to use, because if you call everything just your business name, it gets really confusing. So your ad account is named your business name marketing or advertising. Your page, of course, has your business name. Your pixel and your business manager all have some indication that they are what they are. So I'm going to use my pixel, and I want to say all website visitors for the last 30 days is going to be this custom audience. Or I can say people who visited specific web pages. So in fact, my URL contained the word training, but it didn't contain, I'm going to exclude people who landed on a specific page called /thank you, because that happens to be my redirect page after somebody purchases. So you don't have to have it be that specific. I have a lot of hot audiences that are straight up just website traffic, last 180 days. But if you want to get more detailed, you can have those people who visited a specific page on your website, and perhaps maybe 2 or 3 pages. You can add them all together. So they visited your about page, your home page, and your training page, but they didn't get to checkout or whatever. You can do whatever you like there, and then we're going to name it accordingly. This is where I like to call it hot, and I would call it website traffic 180 days. And I can't yet determine where they live, so I don't have a country parameter here, but I will have that down the road when I build the ad. I will say use that custom audience of website traffic from Ireland, people that visited my site and lived in Ireland or live in Ireland. So you can do that afterwards. So I create my audience, it's going to build it for me, and it'll show up pretty quickly at the top of my pile. Now, if I want to create a lookalike audience from here or an ad, I absolutely can, but we're not ready for that yet. We want to build a few hots, then strategically go in and build our warms. So that was a pretty basic one there, and you can get more specific again if you like. If you're not ready to utilize retargeting ads or that type of strategy, I encourage you to still get that pixel firing on your website. You go on into Assets, which is back in Business Suite, over in Home. Let me move my head, Settings, and then we're able to add it as a business asset, which is not hard to do. You name it accordingly. Business Assets, Add New, hang on a minute, Pixels, just like catalogs if you want to create a Facebook shop. And now you go in and you build that pixel. So I really encourage you to do that and have it start firing so that you can become ready to build that audience or use that audience when the time comes. It will have backdated tracking information that it can pull into that audience for you. If that pixel hasn't been firing, and what that means is that the moment someone lands on your website, that pixel fires and it sends that information back to Facebook as that part of that audience. But if that pixel's not in place and then you go to want to create that kind of cool custom audience and use it for your ads, it's going to take several weeks for it to generate enough data in order for it to be a meaningful audience. Okay, another type of hot or custom audience that we can utilize is a customer list. This is crazy powerful as well. What I'm going to do here, apologies for that alarm, what I'm going to do here is pull my mailing list. So in this case, it could be my subscribers, which I have lawfully had, opt-ins and explicitly received their information or their email address, and I can either e-market to them, or in this case, I could even also just send them an email with my messaging, or I can reach them in other places. And this is where I would want to target them with a post. Kind of like if I leave my business card in your fishbowl, you're going to call me and or I leave my information with you to follow up. You can call me, you can target me with an ad, you can send me an e-newsletter, you can email me. This is kind of how it works. We get lots of different sources of advertisements hitting us in every which way. So what I'm trying to say is, this feels so good it should be illegal, but it's not. You've, again, lawfully gleaned this mailing list or this customer list, and the reason you feel like you're being followed around the internet is because people are taking that same subscriber or database and they're uploading it as a custom audience in Facebook and Instagram and retargeting you there. They might target you in your inbox if they're running inbox ads, etc. So I can export my mailing list from MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever my email marketing service provider is, or my database, as just a CSV file full of email addresses. I'm going to load it up here into Facebook, and it's going to match those audiences in your database with the email addresses, in its database, and create a custom audience for you. And if it's a great list and it's a clean contact or newish database, you might have a 50% match. and suddenly you've got 1,500 or 17,000 email addresses or contacts in that custom audience to target. Very powerful stuff. Another one that we can utilize is, and again, this would probably be the warmest of the hot audiences, is Facebook sources. So you don't have a mailing list yet, you don't have a website pixel firing, no problem. You can utilize video. So let's say that I want to target people who have engaged with at least 3 seconds of my video, or have watched 25% of it, or a through play. Let's say they've watched, I'm just gonna go super easy here. If you've watched just 3 seconds of my video in the last 365 days, you win. You are part of my hot video viewers, 365 days. Great. And I would actually call that a little bit warm, but, oh, and I have to go in and choose the videos that I would like to include. And I have to find the right page. Let's see what kind of videos I've got in my ad account that I can say, if people watched these 4 videos, great. They will be the ones who get served my ad. Lucky them. Create audience. And this could also be really powerful if you've created a video specifically for a specific audience. So it was already targeted at women who love to drink wine and walk their dog and live in Georgia. And they watched it. And then you can retarget them if they watched it for 3 seconds or more, or if you were targeting them hoping they'd watch it. And then if they did, that's when they become hot. And now you've moved them along. So instead of just saying, hey, check out my new dog walking service, now you're saying coupon time, or this is the season, or book now, we're filling up. You get the idea. In our ad campaign class, we go deep into the messaging that changes as you bring someone down the customer journey or the funnel. Okay, so I've got those interesting hot audiences. Let's quickly look at one last type here. So we looked at video, but lead forms, instant experience, shopping. If someone engages with your catalog, so if you've got a Facebook shop, which is of course also visible on your Instagram, in your Instagram shop, then I can see people who saved products, who visited my shops page, who visited my collections, added products to their cart, initiated the checkout for products. This is so powerful. And if they did that in the last 180 days, maybe they did it in the last 3 days, but they initiated it and they didn't stop. That's when you see the ad that says, hey, did you forget something? Or let's help you get there. Or do you need something? And your button on your ad could be message us. We're here to help you choose that final size or color or whatever. So that's pretty cool. If I want to instead have my Instagram account, same thing. Anyone who is engaged with any of my page, my posts, my ads, they've sent me a message, all amazing things we can target here. Because again, these people already know us, like us, maybe trust us, hopefully, and we can serve them a more specific ad. And we can spend less than if we're spending creating cold audiences or cold ads to any and everyone that we need to start to move along. So we want to spend probably 50 to 60% of our monthly budget in the cold zone, maybe 25 to 30 in the warm, and maybe 10 to 20, 25 in the hots. And hopefully just continue to have lots of conversions down at the bottom of the funnel. More and more people start to hear about you organically at the top of funnel, and you don't have to run so many cold ads. None of us need to be told what Nike is, but they might still want to run cold ads to keep themselves top of mind because there's a lot of competition. So it all kind of changes depending on your business and niche and just the amount of people that are running ads in the same space as you. But there's a lot we can do here. So I hope that helps with your hot audiences. I look forward to seeing you in our warm audience video and creating your full stack of funnel-based audiences.